Hi, this is Ellie Parrott for Transforming Together. You know, I always find the contemporariness of the Word of God to be exhilarating, to know that this is a living Word. It's not just an old book, it's Jesus condensed to the living page. And as we read about him before Pilate, it's almost as if we're turning on the evening news. Join me as we look at this in Luke 23, and I'm going to be reading beginning verse 13. It's a little longer passage than we usually look at, but I'd like to read it for us in its entirety. Beginning Luke 23, verse 13. Then Pilate called together the leading priests and other religious leaders along with the people, and he announced his verdict. You brought this man to me, accusing him of leading a revolt. I have examined him thoroughly on this point in your presence and find him innocent. Herod came to the same conclusion and sent him back to us. Nothing this man has done calls for the death penalty, so I have flogged him, and then I will release him. A mighty roar rose from the crowd, and with one voice they shouted, "Kill him and release Barabbas to us." Now, Barabbas was in prison for taking part in an insurrection in Jerusalem against the government and for murder. Pilate argued with them because he wanted to release Jesus, but they kept shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" For the third time, he demanded, "Why? What crime has he committed? I have found no reason to sentence him to death." But they kept shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" So he said, "I have flogged him, and then I will release him." But the mob shouted louder and louder, demanding that Jesus be crucified, and their voices prevailed. So Pilate sentenced Jesus to death as they demanded. As they had requested, he released Barabbas, the man in prison for insurrection and murder. But he turned Jesus over to them to do with him as they wished. The question begs to be asked: how are we as citizens? What is happening among our nation? How are we finding ourselves as a nation? You know, there's a fine line between democracy and anarchy. That might be quite a statement to say, but the line is leadership. You see, Pilate knew that Jesus was innocent, but because of the popular demand, the swaying of the people, the leader gave in. And anarchy is a result of that. Injustice is a result of that. A murderer went free, and one totally innocent was murdered. So, a couple questions for us today. Is there nobility among us? Are we citizens of a nation, regardless of what nation we are? Are we citizens of that nation, or have we turned into an uncontrollable mob, yelling and demanding our rights? Boy, doesn't that's just the way that what happened in Luke 23. So around your tables tonight, I would encourage you to have this conversation. And you can have it with little kiddos. If they're watching TV, they get it. There's injustice, there's mob control, there's poor, weak leadership all around us. We're rampant in this sort of soft society. So talk among yourselves how you as individuals, how you as a family can maintain integrity, maintain loyalty, maintain dignity within cultures that seem to be crumbling around us. Is there sensibility in who you are, or shouting? And you can take this even on a family level, friend, because our family can also be a little political monarchy as well, or democracy. Is there yelling and shouting and demanding within your four walls, or is there sensibility? Is there loyalty? Is there integrity? These are questions that come to us from the living Word of God. This is Ellie for transforming together.